This tutorial is for 5th grade, Module 1, Lesson 9. In this lesson, we're going to add decimals in word form and in number form. The first section says solve, write the sum in standard form. Question A is 1/10 plus 2/10. Well, if I have 1/10 and I add another 2/10 to it, that would give me 3/10. Now I need to write 3/10 as a decimal. So I'll write 0 for the ones place and then 3 in the tenths place. Question B says 14/10 plus 9/10. Well, 14 plus 9 equals 23. So 23/10 is the answer in unit form. If I have 23/10, that means that I would have 2 ones because 10/10 make a whole. So I have 23/10. So I can make 2 wholes out of that. And then I would have 3/10 as well. So 2 and 3/10 is my final answer, and I would write that in standard form. So 23/10 is the same as 2 wholes and 3/10. In question C, I have 1/100 plus 2/100. That would give me 3/100. I'll write that in standard form. I have 0 ones, 0 tenths, and 3/100. In question D, I have 27/100 plus 5/100. That would give me 32/100 because 27 plus 5 is 32. And to write that in standard form, I have no ones. I have 32 that lands in the hundredths place, 32/100. In section 2, I'm going to find the sum using the standard algorithm for addition. Now, the key for adding decimals is we need to make sure that we line up our decimal points because that will allow us to add our tenths to our tenths, hundredths to hundredths, thousandths to thousandths, and so on. So for question A, I have 0 and 3/10 plus 0 and 82/100. So I'm going to look carefully at my numbers because I want to write them in the template so that I can stack the tenths on top of the tenths. So I'm going to put 0 and 3/10 on top, and then 0 and 82/100 down below. So you can see my ones place, the 0 in both ones place, those are stacked on top of each other. The decimals are lined up. The tenths are on top of the tenths. Now my second number has 2 in the hundredths place. I don't have any hundredths in the first number, so I can leave that section blank, or if it feels better, we can put a 0 there to show that we don't have any hundredths. Either way is okay. Now we just need to add as usual, starting in the furthest place value to the right. 0 plus 2 is 2. 3 plus 8 is 11. I'm going to carry my 1 at the bottom. And then in my ones place, 0 plus 1 equals 1. Make sure I put my decimal point in. That tells me that 3/10 plus 0 and 82/100 equals 1 and 12/100. Moving on to question B. Again, I need to look at the numbers carefully because I want to be able to line up my decimal points, ones on top of ones, tenths on top of tenths, etc. So let's put 1 decimal point, 0, 3, and down below we'll put the 0, 0, 8, making sure our decimals are lined up. And I can add these now. So 3/100 plus 8/100 equals 11/100. 0, 0 plus 1 equals 1. Put my decimal point, 1 plus 0 equals 1. So 1 and 3/100 plus 8/100 equals 1 and 11/100. And again, the key here is to make sure that we line up our decimal points and our numbers with like values on top of each other so we're adding them correctly.